Tov, we are on Tedzain. We're starting Tedzain Amud Aleph, but today's daf is Tedzain Amud Bet. Yesterday, we asked a question we asked a question on Rav, because yesterday he made a statement that mashkin are not going to be metame. Okay, the only thing that they will be is they can be machshir. What does that mean, machshir? Machshir is they can make, not purify, but they can give the ability to another item to become tameh, but it doesn't necessarily make him tameh.
Contaminated.
No, it's not contaminating. Contaminating is actually giving over the tumah. But here you're just giving the ability.
It makes it susceptible to receive contamination, right?
Right. So now we gave an example. For example, when you eat grapes, you have to if they're wet, you have to do netilat yadayim. With no bracha, obviously. But why do you do it? Because you have tumah on your hands. You have tumah on your hands. You need to get it purified. So before you eat it, because it's wet. Right now the grape is not wet. It is not a tumah yet. But because it's wet, it's able to get tumah. And therefore you have to you could either dry the grape or just do netilat yadayim. So either one. Now we made a differentiation between mayim that are tlushim, water that has been separated from where it originally came from, whatever, from its source, from a lake, whatever, and mayim she'enam tlushim, and water that's not talush. For example, water that's in the lake, straight out the lake. Okay. Now, the Gemara is asking a question, because we explained yesterday that even if they're talush or not talush, right? If they're connected to the ground or not connected to the ground, they still have the power to be machshir, to give the ability over to another item to become tamah. Okay. And the Gemara asks a question: V'tlushim mi machshirin? Is it really true that water that has been separated from its original source, can it actually be machshir, meaning give the ability to be able? How do you say susceptible? Susceptible to be able to be mekabel tumah. Okay? V'tlushim mi machshirin? Do they have this ability? V'amar Rabbi Yossi bar Chananya, we see the state. Rabbi Yossi bar Chananya, mashkin bet mitbachai, lo dayan shehen dachan, ela shehen machshirin. What does it mean? Mashkin bet mitbachai, the liquids that come from the house, from the slaughterhouse, it's not enough to say that they're not what's it called? They're not tameh at all. Rather, they don't have the ability to become susceptible to give over tumah, right? Susceptible to tumah. So we just explained earlier that any liquids, even though that they're talush, that they're disconnected from the original source, they are able to be machshir. Over here we're saying they're not. So the Gemara says, no, tirgema al dam. Rather, translate it that when Rabbi Yossi says mashkin bet mitbachai, he was referring to blood. Blood cannot be machshir tumah, but rather other liquids they still can. So therefore, it's not a question anymore. Dam Rabbi Chiya bar Abba, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, minayin ledam kochim she'eno machshir. From where do we know that the blood of kochim, right? They can't be machshir, meaning they don't give this susceptibility of becoming tameh. Sheneimar, ala aretz tishpechenu kamayim. On the ground you shall spill it, right? Like water. This is talking about the blood that they did after the korban. Dam shenishpach kemayim machshir. Water that can be spilled like blood that can be spilled like water could be machshir. Dam she'eno nishpach kemayim eno machshir. So what does that mean? when you do the korban, right, there's blood that you have to try to catch it. You don't want it to fall on the ground. One, because this is coming from a korban, something kadosh. Now, there's also blood. There's the Gemara. I'm giving you a pre-introduction to the continuation. That there's also blood that's after. That comes after. That comes after. So there's the momentary blood that comes right away. Right when you kill the animal, that blood, you need to keep it. And it's not going to be machshir other things to be able to be mikabel tumah. But the water that comes after that, when the animal's already dead, machpatli, right? He already went to Azazel, the animal, so his blood also Azazel. So his blood could be machshir. Don't think about machshir like kosher. It just makes it. Remember, it's just making it sustainable to be able to be makabel tumah. So that's what we're saying. So when you shech the animal right away, that initial blood, you need to keep it, right? But that blood cannot be machshir other things to be able to be makabel tumah. But the continuation of the blood that comes out, right? Because it's a whole river that comes out of the animal. That blood, you could be machshir other things to be able to be makabel tumah. Okay? Did you get that part? Because we're going to ask questions on it. Yeah? Okay, good. Okay. יש לך שאלה, אלי?
No, he said, תשפכנו...
על הארץ תשפכנו כמים. Right, so
So
דם
why-
שנשפך כמים מכשיר.
So why the one that you pick up in a vessel, גם כן מכשיר?
לא, זה מה שאני אומר. המים, the water that you pick up in the vessel, it's not מכשיר. cannot be מכשיר.
אבל the
זה...
time that you pour it into the vessel זה לא כמו תשפכנו כמים?
לא, זה מדבר על הארץ. כי אז אחרי זה שהוא נשפך על הארץ, הם מכסים את זה. יש חיוב לכסות את זה. So מתקיף לרב שמואל בר עמי, so we asked to Charlotte on this, דם התמצית דנשפך כמים. We see, I gave you the introduction, but he's basically asking on the remaining, right now we're in Ava Amina, that any blood that comes from an animal that's kadosh, it can't spill on the ground. So we see over here that the continuation of the blood could get spilled on the ground. So therefore, it should have the sustainability to be able to be kabel tumah. Ve'no machshir. And it's not machshir. We're saying at the end of the day, it's not machshir. And why? Amar le Rav Zera, hanach ledam hatamtzit. This is only a special din for dam hatamtzit. There's a special learning from it. So in the beginning, we thought to say, right, the remaining of the blood, right, you could spill it on the ground. נכון? The continuation, the initial blood, you can't spill it. נכון? Now we're saying even the remaining, you can't spill it, and it's not machshir. It should be able to be machshir, נכון? Right? Because you don't care about it anymore. It could, why? Because we said the nishpach kamayim, you could spill it just like water. נכון? So that's what we're saying. So, but now we're explaining that really it's a special din by this specific type of blood. That filu bechulim nami lo machshir. Even on chulin, which has no kedusha. Chulin meaning has no kedusha. It's just a regular item. It can't be machshir. So it's a special din by there. So now we're going to explain where he got it from. Kabli ben Rav Shmuel bar Ami. He got it from Shmuel bar Ami. Dam Rachmana. רק חזק לבלתי אכול אדם. כי אדם הוא הנפש. נפש שיוצא בו קרוי דם. דם שאין הנפש יוצא בו אינו קרוי דם. So look at Pasuk Aleph. Pasuk says, רק חזק לבלתי אכול אדם, כי אדם הוא הנפש. Right? We're saying that the human is the blood is the human. That's what makes up the human. Now we're going to make a diuk. The nefesh, the neshama. דם שהנפש יוצא בו קרוי דם. Blood that the soul comes out from it is considered blood. דם שאין הנפש יוצא בו אינו קרוי דם. Blood that the soul doesn't come out of it, it's not considered dam. It's not considered blood. So therefore there's a special din here that this blood, it's because at the end of the day it's in like an in-between stage. It's still considered blood to some sort of sense, but it can't be machshir, other items, because it's like it's not fully not dam, but it still is dam. So therefore it doesn't have the ability to be machshir. So it's an in-between stage.
Initially, when we first brought up this topic, because the pasuk says to pour the blood out like water, because it says like water, that gives us the first insight into saying that blood is even able to be machshir something else because of that mashal. That in the pasuk it says blood is like water.
Right. That was the initial understanding.
That was the initial, right?
That anything that can spill like water should be machshir.
Right.
And now we're explaining that no,
there's different types of blood, pretty much. Like you mentioned, the blood of the first initial blood of the korban is not able to be machshir, but the one after is.
Right. So this is where we're learning it from. He brings a duke in the pasuk, right? We said, "Adam hu nefesh." The blood is the nefesh, the soul. Nefesh is not soul. Nefesh is like what goyim and animals have.
Yeah, it's basically
spirit.
It's like it livens
it's a part
organism.
of the
It, like,
soul.
it gives life to it, right?
Right.
So how does that pasuk though like help support any of what we said previously? That dam is the nefesh. Like how does that pasuk help us out all to figure out whether
Because we asked the question, right? Right. So we asked the question here: if any blood that's not what's it called? Any blood that's not considered a part of the, because we said the initial cutting, right?
It's
that's a
not
part of
machshir.
the nefesh.
The initial cutting is part of the nefesh.
Part of the nefesh.
Okay.
Anything after that is not part of the nefesh anymore. Is already dead. So over here we explain the initial blood. It's not going to be considered.
Because it's considered a nefesh.
Right. It's considered the nefesh. It's not going to be considered to be able to be machshir. But the continuation of the blood, we thought maybe we had a havamina. Maybe it could be machshir. But mashmalan it can't. Okay, because it's a special din by them. Okay. Now, continuation. Tashma. Now we're going to ask another question on Rav. Dam shenitma, blood that became tameh, right? V'zarku b'shogeg, and you threw it, right? Because in the Beit HaMikdash you used to have to throw blood, you have to sprinkle the blood. Huh? The Kohen, right? You used to have to sprinkle the blood. So now let's say it became tameh, and he threw it. He ended up doing the sprinkling, but he did it b'shogeg. Urza. The Gemara says it's still wanted and accepted. B'mezid, but when it's a b'mezid, he purposely knows it became tameh. Alo, relax. You can't throw it. He still did it. It's still lo urza. We don't want it.
That blood that he sprinkles though, it's the initial blood that we said was nefesh, or
Yes.
So how could it be tameh?
No. It could become tameh, but it can't be machshir. There's a difference.
There's a difference.
Machshir, you're just making it sustainable to be able to become tameh, but
But
the
it could still become tameh.
actual blood's not tameh.
Right.
But it could become tameh. Why? Because it came from a tameh animal, right? So now, if you sprinkle the b'shogeg, it's okay. We still want it.
Also, when you cut, then something go out. Like,
Right. That's right. They have to be very careful. They have to be very careful and try to catch as much as they can. Now, dam. So b'shogeg we said rutza. B'mezid lo rutza. So we see over here that this is a din of Torah. When any blood, right? Any blood could be tameh midin Torah. And we had a Abamina that no, really. Wait, hold on 1 second. Because we said earlier, right? משכין בית מטבחי לא ידיין שהן דחן, אלא שהן מכשירים. We said it earlier that all liquids that come from slaughterhouse, right? They're not going to be tameh from Torah, in the Torah. They're not going to be tameh, and they also can't give the sustainability to be able to be mekabel tameh, right? But we ended up saying that no, really, we're talking about blood. Blood. We said blood. Min Torah cannot be. It cannot be.
Sustainable to get,
Cannot.
cannot sustain to go to mouth.
Right. No, it cannot. It's not tameh at all. The blood is not tameh. Now, where did we know that from? We ended up bringing you a raya from a pasuk. From the Torah, any blood that comes afterwards, is not going to be mekabel tameh.
לא מקבל תורה, הוא מכשיר לקבל תורה.
Sorry, no. The mashkin of bet mitvachai, right? The liquids that come from a slaughterhouse. We ended up saying that any liquids from there, they're not going to be able to be mekabel tameh. לא שזה
לא
מכשיר.
בלד. זה ליכוד או בלד?
Liquids, we're saying. Any liquids that come from there. We explained, we tried to show from there that any liquids that come from a slaughterhouse is not going to be able to be machshir or to even to be mekabel tameh.
Including blood,
So
right?
therefore we ended up saying, no, really we're talking about blood. But mashkin could be machshir and could be mekabel tameh. So, but we see over here,
It's what we're saying right now.
over here we're saying that it's, if it was beshogeg, we still want it. If it's bemezid, we still want it. So we're seeing from here
It's able to
that
get us.
we're seeing from here that we're talking about it from a case from Midoraisa. Midoraita it could be even mekabel tameh. We tried to say no, really it's only Midorabanan. Chap or no? There's a missing part.
Here, the way they describe it is, this implies that the beverages are susceptible to tumah biblically, and their capacity to contaminate other things is rabbinically. So to give tumah is based on the rabbinical, but their ability to be tumah
Right, is
is
from the Raisa.
biblical, yeah.
So we tried to explain earlier that it could only be it could only give over tuma from the rabbis, not midoraisa. But here we see a state raya that it could be from the Torah, because here we're talking about a maseh that happened in the Bet HaMikdash. If it happened in the Bet HaMikdash, mashma it's talking about something that's doraisa. So the Gemara says no. Really, we're talking about a case midrabanan. The case is from the rabbis. That's why we have these halachas here. V'delo ki Rabbi Yossi Yoazar ben Tzreida. Because what did Rabbi Yossi Yoazar ben Tzreida say? He said earlier, yesterday, we said yesterday, according to Rabbi Eliezer, en tuma lemashkin kol ikar. There's no tuma for liquids at all, whatsoever. So, and then Rabbi Yossi ben Yoazar Ish Tzreida, he said that bet mitbachai and all mashkin, they all cannot be mekabel tuma. But we're not saying like him. We're saying that they could be mekabel tuma midarabanan. That's what we're saying here. So that's what we're saying, not like him, because he said they can't even be mekabel tuma even from midarabanan. We're saying no, really, it could be mekabel tuma midarabanan. Okay, so now that was, we tried to ask that question according to Rav, and then we answered it, because according to Rav, they can't be mekabel tuma midoraisa. And midarabanan, they could be mekabel tuma, right? We tried to bring it as a raya that it can't be mekabel tuma at all. Next question, Tashma. Alma hatzitz. on the על מה הציץ מרצה? Oh, on the Kohen, right? He had
His head plate.
he had the special head plate. You ever see Naruto?
Yeah, the headband.
Where they had the head plate?
Yeah, man, funny, bro.
That's where
It's
they
literally
got it.
that. Literally
That's where
that.
they got it from.
Straight up.
That's where they got it from. Yeah? אתה לא יודע מה זה נרוטו? יש לו את ההד פלייט הזה. Sure.
You know, the Ninja Turtle. Goes like the...
Right, they get it from here.
They copy us, man.
And they don't give us credit.
Actually, all the
What?
Disney movies, everything copies us,
קיבלו את זה
bro.
מפה.
הכל לקחו
They
מאצלנו.
all copy, all the Disney
Yeah,
movies
everything.
copy.
אפילו הקאפ של סופרמן זה הטלית שלנו.
So תשמע, על מה הציץ מרצה? So what does the head plate give, how do you say, איך אומרים לרצות?
Huh?
מרצה.
Susceptible or
no.
accepted.
Represent?
לא, לא רוצה לרצות, to make you satisfied, to make you...
Yeah. So
Acceptance.
what does it make Hashem satisfied? Like, to
I have to admit,
because we did bad things, so it gives Hashem like,
how does it satisfy?
yeah, we satisfy Him.
How does it affect acceptance? We don't know.
Acceptance, right? Meaning that we're still going to be able to be accepted. That's why He wears it.
So we're explaining right now the significance of the tzitz?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to see why.
Okay.
על מה הציץ מרצה? על הדם, on blood, ועל הבשר, ועל החלב, שנטמע. Oh, see, blood could be טמא. בין שוגג, בין מזיד, בין באונס, בין ברצון, right? either בשוגג, בין במזיד, on purpose, באונס, by accident, בין ברצון, he actually wanted to do it, בין ביחיד, in יחיד is in a single domain, בין בציבור, in a public domain. So we see that dam, and all these things are going to be metameh midoraisa. We just said that it's really only midirabanan. נכון? The Gemara says no, midirabanan v'delo kerebi v'delo keyosef ben Yazar ish tzreila. Not like him, not like his opinion. We held that it could be midoraisa. Okay. Sorry, who he said that it can't be at all. So here we're saying that it could be midirabanan. Tashma, next child. ונשא אהרון את אבון הקודשים. וכי איזה אבון הוא נושא? Aaron used to carry on him all the avon, the sinners, the sins of the kochim. וכי איזה אבון הוא נושא? What sins did he used to carry with himself? אם avon pigul, if it's on the sinning of the pigul, what did we say was pigul? Pigul, we said that it was
Slaughter something and he had a mind, he had a different mind.
right. He was also eating it beyond the allowed time to eat it.
If you what?
He did the avoda, right? He slaughtered, he did whatever he needed to do, and he ate it beyond the time.
An offering rendered invalid
Right, not for whatever.
by means of improper intent.
Right. So he ended, like for example, he ended up eating it over the time that's allowed to eat it, so therefore it's considered pigul. Maybe that's the avon that Aaron is carrying on himself, right? For the kochim, right? הרי כבר נאמר לא ירצה. We already have a pasuk that says לא ירצה. Sorry, we don't want this one. So he can be carrying that avon. ואם avon notar, maybe it's avon notar, the sinning of having extra meat, eating the extra meat that was left from the kochim. You can't eat the continuation of it. Maybe it's on that.
You can't leave it.
You can't leave it. So maybe that's the avon that he's carrying. הרי כבר נאמר לא ייחשב. It's not considered even anything. So it can't be that. אינו נושא אלא avon טומאה. Rather, he's only carrying the avon of kochim that became tameh. שהותרה מכללה בציבור. That when it becomes to a tzibur, for, how do you say tzibur? For a crowd, meaning a lot of people, over there the Torah made it okay. Why? Because he's doing it for the tzibur. He's not doing it for himself. So over here, when it became tameh, that's what he's carrying. He's carrying that sin for the rest of the people. So the Gemara asks a question, my love, Tumat Dam? Are we talking about Tumat Dam? We said Dam cannot be Tameh. Amar Rav Papa, lo Tumat Komtzim. Rather, no, we're not talking about Tumat Dam. Tumat Komtzim. What is Komtzim? The Kohen Gadol used to do, I think, for the Korban Mincha. I think maybe on Yom Kippur or something. So this was the hard, or every day he used to do it. The hardest thing, it says, I think in Masechet Yoma, this is the hardest thing to do in the Bet HaMikdash. Why?
With the birds?
No, he used to carry the, like the salt or whatever, something like that.
לוקח מקומצו.
Right, mikumtzos. He used to take a piece like this, and there'd be remainings here. I used to rip it off like this. Try doing that. Let me give you a piece of dough, and try ripping. When you're holding it like this, you have to rip it off like this. That's right. Yeah.
The dough?
With the dough or with the or whatever it was.
Solid is like a...
סולת.
סולת.
סמל. איך אומרים סולת? סמל.
סמנל? לא.
You make cake from it.
The baking.
No,
Whatever, something. Okay. He used to go like this.
I thought couscous was solid.
כן, כמו קוסקוס.
Right. So rather we're talking about the blood that was mixed in there. We're talking about the blood that was mixed in there. So it's not regular blood, but there it's blood that could be. Is it blood we're talking about?
Fine flour.
Sorry, no. איך הם הסבירו את פה, את הקומץ, הקומצים?
קומצים של מנחות שהקטרת הקומץ מתירה את השיריים של הקומץ באכילה, וגם כל הכפרה של המנחה תלויה בהקטרת הקומץ. מכיוון שהוא אוכל ולא משקה, מקבל אוכל ולא משקה, מקבל טומאה, ואם נטמא קודם הקטרה צריך לרצות עליו, לאנשים מוקטר.
Okay, so here we're talking about really the comets. We're talking about the comets. We thought to say that maybe the dam could be tameh over here. We're saying no, really we're talking about the comets. That's what that's the avon tuma that Aaron Cohen is carrying for us, for the tzibur, for the comets, not for the dam itself. Tashma. Next one. Hen, let's say Isa ish basar kodesh. Let's say a person is carrying basar kodesh bekatef on his shoulder. Nachon. Bekatef bigdo. V'naga bekanfo, and it touched the v'naga bekanfo ala lechem, and but we're talking. I think this is one is tameh.
Yeah, contaminated flesh.
Right. Right, so this one's contaminated. Now he carried it on his shoulder, and he touched the corner of his garment, and the corner of his garment, the kanfo el alechem, touched the bread, vehela nazir, and it touched a nazid, and then it touched. It says that it's like stew / soup.
It touches bread, stew, wine.
Right, then it touched stew, and then it touched.
Either one of them.
No, it's not either one. It's not either one. It touched first of all his shoulder, the corner of his shoulder, of his clothing. Then it touched the bread. Then the corner of his shoulder touched the bread.
Yeah.
Then
either the bread or the
No, either.
No,
Because it says the bread.
נגע בזה, והזה נגע בזה, והזה נגע בזה.
It's in order.
The bread touches the stew touches the wine touches the oil, or
Right.
anything edible.
Right, ועל הנזיד ואל היין ואל השמן, then it ended up touching the שמן, נכון? ואל כל מאכל, הקדש, are we going to say, we don't want to say tameh, that's what we're saying, הקדש. Did it become tameh? Why? Because it was from the first thing, the kochim is av, נכון? And then the next one, and then the next one. So here we're going into a stage of revi, fourth. It can't be betame other things. So we're asking, could it be? Is it tameh? No. They said that really it's not tameh. Why? Because they already got to the shemen, right? the shemen, which was the last step, that becomes a revi, so it can't be metame anything else. So Amarav, Ishtabish Kohani. Rav says the Kohanim, they did a mistake. Their answer is not true. Why? Shitaru revi bekodesh. Why? Because we're saying, according to this, look what Rav is saying. Look at the first Rashi. Look at the first Rashi on the top of the line. Rashi says, Shitaru revi bekodesh. They made the fourth one, tahor bekodesh, which was the shemen. Alma yain veshemen de mashki bed mitbachai ninhu. So we understand that the wine and the oil, those are things that come from the bed mitbachai, from the house, the slaughterhouse. Nachon? V'mitameu, and we're saying that they're tameh. But we said any mashkim from bet mitbachai is not tameh. Oh. So the Gemara says no. Midiu de tameh ela lerav. Are we saying that these things are only tameh only for the next Rashi says klum atam akshei ela lerav lo kasher hai lo ram Oh, it's right. So midiu hu tamam ela lerav. Are we only going to ask this question only according to Rav? Because there was Chagaya Cohen, he asked this, I forgot to say this for the introduction before. Chagaya Cohen, he asked this to the people to be able to see if they know the halachot of Tuma and Kadosh. So we're asking a question. So we said that Rav said that the Kohanim, when they said that it's not Tameh, Nachon, they made a mistake. Why? Because we said shemen and yain, those are drinks that come from Bet Midvachai. And we said any drinks that come from the Bet Midvachai, which is the slaughterhouse, those are not considered tameh. So the Gemara is asking a question, okay, so it's a Shaila and Rav. So, but then the Gemara says, no, do you think this question is only on Rav? Chagaya Kohen answered for everybody. So it's not only on Rav. So now we're answering this. Rav, Mishkai Bet Mitbachai. Tanya, אבל משקה בית מטבחי מטעם... Hold on. When Rav says, look at the Rav Mashke Bet Mitbachai. Rav said that they can't be tameh, which is the mashkim of Bet Mitbachai, the liquids that come from the Bet Mitbachai, which means what? The water and the blood that come from there. Tani, that's what he learned. Aval mashke bei mitbachai. There's a bei mitbachai is the house itself, the whole storage itself. Over there, that's we're going to say that it is metame, which is the yain and the shemen. So even Rav agrees to that. Rav agrees to the shemen and the yain. But when Rav says that the mashkin of the bei mitbachai, that was only referring to the blood and the water, the liquids that came from them, but not the yain and the shemen from the whole storage house, what they store in the slaughterhouse. Okay, so therefore we don't have a shaila and Rav anymore. Okay, very good. Chazara.